Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Zero number 1545D dark bronze anodized aluminum butt threshold. I might call this a half saddle, is probably what I would call this type of item. They've clearly taken a saddle threshold, 1/4 inch rise, and have cut that down. I can see that cut on a bandsaw. Is what it appears to be, which is not unusual. Not manufacturers of weather stripping do that occasionally. So this is what a half saddle looks like, or a butt up style threshold, or an offset threshold. Well, not offset, but it's a half saddle used to transition between two uneven floor surfaces. This would be very appropriate when you had a floor here, and then you might have 1/4 inch tile or something 1/4 inch thick on the other side, is what this would be really used for. Dimensionally, there's an image down below. It's 2.5 inch wide, 1/4 inch tall. The 1545 is representative of that profile. The D means it is in the dark bronze finish. Looks awfully dark, and a lot of people will say, well, that looks black. Well, it does. So you hold it up against something that's actually black, and you can tell, well, you're right, it's not quite black, but it is quite dark, that's for sure. There's a countersink there for screws that would be included. This happens obviously just to be a 6-inch, well, it happens to be a sample piece, which is 6-inch in length. And again, you're going to use this to transition between uneven floor surfaces. A variety of widths and different heights can be done. This is completely handicap compliant. It doesn't violate the maximum height nor the rise over run rule of 2 to 1, and it works really well in that regard. Where will you use this? Yeah, those applications where you need to transition something. And it's generally when you've got some tile that's been put in and you need something quite short like this. Okay. Other places to use this, I really can't think of any. It's far too short to act as a stop of any sort of type, but it is going to elegantly transition those floor surfaces. This is going to be listed in the site in lengths from 2 foot to 8 foot currently. After you get past 3 foot, that cost to ship goes up pretty exponentially as you get longer. You can probably order this up to 16-foot lengths, but again, you'll want to order the shortest pieces necessary for your project so as to keep the shipping charges as low as possible. If you had need for a custom length, by all means, let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field the net length you'd like for us to ship the material out at. And the reasoning is, well, they'll cut it to length. Then they'll give you that first countersink at the proper distance from the edge and the proper center to center going down along the way as well. You don't want to get stuck having to cut this, and then you don't want to have countersinks that aren't really as symmetrical as possible. So either way, we'll be happy to cut it for you. Order the next longest piece, indicate in the comment field your actual required net length. We'll send that information to the factory. In terms of the holes, there's generally one more than there are quantity of feet in the length. So if you had a 3-foot threshold, there should be 4 holes. It's not an absolute, it's just a rule of thumb. So be mindful, expect to see 4. And indeed, they have 4 screws listed in this, or packaged with this little sample piece. So pretty typical to have that. Let's switch to the screen view now and take a closer look at the supporting documentation. Here is the item that we are looking at. 2.5 wide, 1/4 inch rise, or 1/4 inch overall height, 1/8 of an inch wall thickness. There's a link to the product brochure and installation instructions. Let's take a look at the installation instructions. They won't say much. Measure and cut to size, make any notches or cope the bottom of the frame as required. Caulk underneath it after you have prepped your floor, inserted any anchors, and then attach. It's not much to that. The product brochure is handy, though, because we can do a find function on our keyboard for 1545 and find where it shows up. And you can see from this page the variety of different thresholds that will allow you to transition between irregular floor surfaces, the offset, pardon me, the half saddle type, and then the offset type that are here. There's some component of a saddle here, either a half saddle or a uneven saddle threshold. Rubber ramps are here as well, just because they're on that page, obviously, but they do help you transition, no doubt. Now, there is a link here below this video to the manufacturer's page, where we can pull up not only all of the Zero products that we sell, okay, by means of this horizontal navigation here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as link to the full product catalog, which I would certainly recommend that you take a look at. And from this document, you'll be able to look at everything gasketing related from Zero, a name that goes back in the industry a couple of decades, to be sure. Allegiant hasn't always owned Zero. That's relatively recent. And the name Zero is going to be synonymous with very high caliber gasketing in all instances, number one. Number two, they will never be the least expensive, because it could be successfully argued that they may be the best product. Number three, their name is thoroughly synonymous with STC rated gasketing, perimeter gasketing, thresholds, automatic door bottoms, and entire assemblies that conspire together, that collude together to give you STC ratings, sound transmission control ratings on their material. And that catalog would be probably worthwhile to tear through, just so that you're familiar with what they're doing. An interesting thing to point out to you would be the cam lift hinge that goes along with STC rated material. A very neat sort of little product here. And what happens is, when the door's in the closed position, everything is normal. When the door goes to open, because of the way the preparation is on the barrel, it will actually lift the door vertically upwards, which means when the door closes, it will be using the weight of the door to find the closed position. And where you will see these is if you're on Broadway in Manhattan. It's the year 2020, so you're probably not on Broadway in Manhattan at all, because it's closed. You'll see these cam lift hinges on those doors that exit from the various theaters. You'll see them all over the place. So very interesting. The weight of the door itself helps maintain pressure against the ceiling material, like right here. Okay. You're looking for a way to deaden sound in an installation. Zero is the name most synonymous with that product category. Let's wrap up this video on camera. In conclusion, the name Zero, again, synonymous with high-quality gasketing. They're a manufacturer. They have a manufacturing lead time, so definitely plan ahead when it comes to Zero. Typical lead times on their material are going to be 2 weeks, things in that sort of range. And this video is just to bring you a visual tour of what the 1545DE is. Oh, by the way, it's also available in a solid architectural bronze as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, that would be a 1545B. The base material will be solid architectural bronze. People call it brass. Okay. And onto that brass, they can do mill, satin, polished, oil rubbed, different finishes on solid brass. Why would you want a solid brass half saddle threshold? Well, if you're building a $4 million home and all the hardware is in an oil rub finish, you're probably not going to just necessarily assume you're going to put in aluminum thresholds. Why would you spend so much money? Well, the caliber of the home, I guess, would argue that you'd use a elevated caliber of all things, and brass or architectural bronze as a base material compared to aluminum would be substantially more robust. The City Hall in Chicago has all solid brass thresholds outside, and they've been there for decades, and that's the bottom line. Aluminum thresholds would never stand up to the foot traffic that goes through those doorways. Any questions on the 1545D half saddle threshold from Zero or any other Zero product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.